This is Recruitment Agency Ignition with Andy Whitehead. Helping you build your recruitment employment business fast. Using digital and automation and one-to-many systems, tools, and inbound strategies.
Really focus on what we're going to call the search lead gen system. Now, this covers both clients and candidates, but I want to just make it nice and simple. And yes, it does cover recruitment if you term yourself a recruiter as opposed to search. Just want to mix up the acronyms a little bit. Okay, so we're going to build this together. So this is very much a do-in session, and next week is a do-in session. The actual implementation of the technology, you won't be doing yourself, I don't recommend you do, but the strategy and the concepts behind it, we need to get specced out. Also know this, when you make a decision on what might be to find a priority 1 lead, priority 2 lead, it's not going to be set in stone forever. These can change, but we want to start to get this structure in place, okay? So as always, as we go through, any questions, capital Q, any insights, capital I. Indeed, if you've got a mic and you've got a really cool insight or question, maybe I'll ask you to come on if time allows, so we get a full 360 view on this, okay? So as always, be very engaging. I know you guys are going to do that and fire away. So what we're going to focus on first of all is essentially the foundational steps, the workflow of what we're going to be moving from. So again, just to recap, we focus heavily on only clients now, only candidates now, and we do that with RRR, we do it with campaigns, whether it be LinkedIn or what the strategy we use. Then we've got nurturing. So 10% of your marketplace may well be hiring now, or 10, 20, 30% may be open to moving now, but the rest aren't. So we'll bring that entire thing together now, the entire 100% into one engine, into one system. So combining the entire nurturing and campaign models, that's what we're going to be building together. So first off, the reason why we're doing this is there's a problem. And the problem is this. You get totally focused on RRR inbox. And I've run a campaign and I've got 5 yeses, 10 come back in a month, and what your figure's going to be. And that's great. However, we're leaving money on the table. I want to move away from this and really build an engine that is not, which definitely won't be done in recruitment anywhere else, 100%. Number 2. The same structure you've put in place last year is not going to give you the structure that's going to allow you to grow hugely next year and the year after. So like anything, for example, something I saw this week. So I've been at a mastermind this week, and while I was there, I got an email. So like you all do, you should have an inbox that allows you just to keep on tabs of what's happening in your industry. So who's copying you, et cetera, et cetera. I got an email from a gentleman, and essentially he'd used the same language that I created on a podcast about 3-4 weeks previously. And it's new language, new terminology that I've just started using in my own head. And then this person sent out an email using my language, et cetera, et cetera. Giving another example, we had someone go out and profess this strategy called RRR. I came up with the name myself, 11 o'clock at night for whatever reason. And so these things happen. But know this, what we're going to put in place now is not going to be the same thing as you've done for the previous 12 months. Indeed, where we're going to be 12 months from today will be a completely different animal and playing field from where we are right now in your business and indeed in your growing business. So yes, you're still going to use RRR. Yes, you can still use other strategies, but now we're going to bring it into a very stable, predictable, growth efficient engine that brings the entire thing together. Next. What happens now is we've got a process in place where we wait for the leads to come into your inbox or whatever method it may be. What we don't have is a hot list. And what I mean by that is there might well be 10,000 clients in your niche, or there might be 500 clients in your niche, or there might be 10,000 candidates, whatever the number's going to be. And we treat them all as yes or no. Whereas the reality is it's probably yes, there is yes next week, yes if we have a conversation, yes if you can overcome these objections, yes, in a month. Yes, there's different priorities. And we don't take that on board. It's either a blanket yes or no. So we want to change that. So we've got an opportunity. The opportunity is this. When they're ready, they're going to come to you. You're the known person. So again, with a base campaign, we focus on the 10%, are they ready now? And that's it. Plain and simple. But the reality is we want your entire marketplace to see you as a natural answer. And that's what we want to get in place, okay? So the principles we're going to apply. First off, the architecture. The architecture is growing, it's changing. So again, if, for example, we had a new member on board and we went through, this is where you're going to be in 12 months, they're probably going to have kittens and go into some form of mental institution with overwhelm. The reality is we want to add one pillar at a time. So the architecture you've got in place so far is still going to be used. However, we're now going to make this a predictable engine, a predictable system. So the architecture is growing. Number two, we want to move away from this having a handful of opportunities each day, or whatever your number is in your marketplace, to having a boatload of opportunities. So I mean tens and tens and tens of leads coming in, as opposed to just 1, 2, 3, etc. Again, remember, now we're going to focus on 100% of the marketplace. Next, this, when we discussed it in London, and it was great, because we brought forward a lot of strategies in London. It's great to get that feedback from the room where people's internal objections were, and there are some great internal objections. However, if you consider this, if, for example, in your inbox you've got X amount of A's, so let's speak on Monday, then you've got X amount of B's, when clearly all they need to have is a conversation or overcome some form of objection or need your CAS, etc., etc. All it takes is a conversation. So one error I've made myself is sometimes, okay, let me give you a case study without mentioning names. We had an awesome member inside the inner circle, and this person brought in a whole shit ton of leads. And then I got a message saying, shit, we're not hitting this metric, we're not hitting this figure we want. Okay, well, the metrics you share have told me that we've got all these leads in your inbox. What's going on? The short version was they weren't speaking to the client. So in their inbox, they've got tens of opportunity, they actually weren't speaking to the client. So those include A's. Let's include A's, as in, yep, we're hiring, when can we speak? Yep, I've heard about you, when can we speak? We weren't speaking to the client. I didn't know that. So whether we got A's or we got B's, which we've done in the past, A's and B's, the reality is you've got priority 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6, whatever the number's going to be. And the fact is this, when we can 10x the leads coming in, you've got 10x inbound leads happening from what you've got now, probably, or around what the figure's going to be. You've now got an opportunity to have that conversation, engagement with these clients or indeed candidates. So moving forward, there will likely be a change of role in your business. Not a salesperson. It's going to be someone following up on someone who's raised their hand and say, we've got this challenge. So let me give you a brief insight. So one of the things we're going to do, client attainment system. One of the strategies we're going to set up is your prospect, your client or candidate, is going to complete a document of sorts. So it could be a simple questionnaire. I'll make it simple for now, but we can get into the detail of that later on. And inside that document, they may identify so in our database, we've got 10 candidates, and there should be 500, so we've got a gap of 490. Essentially, they're going to raise their hand and identify what their gap is. That information they complete in that document is going to come into your lead gen system. So you're going to know exactly what their constraint is. They're not going to know that by them completing this document, it's coming into your system and you're seeing what they're writing. So there are a number of ways we're going to get your clients to raise their hand and say to you, I've got this problem. Same with candidates. So we're going to have an absolute avalanche of opportunities, clients and candidates-wise, to be engaging with them, but not going out there and selling, not going out there and closing as such. These good people are raising their own gap. This is my problem. So again, I'll just give you one insight there. That's just one strategy out of over 10, 20, 30 we're going to be putting in place very quickly. So there may well be a new role in your business. So as opposed to picking up the phone and cold, there'd be a role of picking up the phone and engaging. So you may well get 50 leads in your lead gen system each day. Priorities 1s, 2s, 3s, whatever it's going to be. So moving forward, the chances are there's going to be a new role in your business once we get the lead flow moving. Just not something to worry about or internalize right now and go, shit, I need to be hiring. It's just something to consider. The model of recruitment is changing, and the model of inner circle is developing to the next level. We're now taking it to a new degree of coverage and a new degree of leads. Not just those ready now, but those who are not ready now, but they've got an objection around you, etc., etc., etc. So we're developing very quickly. So every 90 days, it would make sense if you had this person or individual speaking to clients or candidates. But why are they going to speak to you? Because they're going to raise their hand in a certain way. And at the minute, we don't integrate these different strategies to the degree we should do. We become heavily dependent on double R, or heavily dependent on webinars, or heavily dependent on podcasting, and we don't integrate the entire model. So again, if you think about this, say there are 10,000 clients in your niche, you've got 10,000 in your database, and each month there's 1,000 taking an action, the flag up inside your lead gen system, priorities 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5. We've got endless amounts of opportunity to engage and speak with our clients, or indeed our candidates. So once we put that frame in place, we're developing hugely, okay? We're developing hugely. So first of all, for those of you who've not been through this yet, for those who aren't in London, or indeed those in London, inside the chat box, key insight, key question, let me know. For those of you in London, we went through this in deeper detail across a number of hours. Key insight, key question, let me know. While you do that, I see a chat box already being Very, very busy. So let me go through these so far and just see if I can categorize them into an answer I can chunk up for everyone. Tom, it's not a document download. I'm not sure what you've downloaded, Tom. The document I'll take you through in a second. I have these people already. They're going to love us. We have to manage via VA CRM at the minute, and it's slow. Yeah, love that. Amazing. Exactly what I've been waiting for. So, guys, I did not renew my HubSpot. Yeah, makes complete sense. Yeah, Darren, epic. So, Darren, I've already identified a client engagement manager. Really good name for it, client engagement manager. So, again, what we're doing here is we're not phoning up saying, have you got any business? We're not running the campaign saying, here's our candidate. We're covering the entire client marketplace, or indeed candidate marketplace. They're going to raise their hand and do an activity. So at the minute, our activities are, they've come back to us and said, yeah, we're hiring, can we speak? Or they come back to us and said, let's speak in a month. So we're leaving 95% of our market on the table, which is ridiculous. So we're going to fix this. But again, if you've got a conversation around an audit that they've completed, or a conversation around something they've done that demonstrates their problem, even if they're not hiring now, you've now got that engagement, and you've got that client engagement person speaking to them as a real person. But also, there's a ton which are going to be hiring now, which is just not going to reply to you if a simple double R campaign. So we're leaving a boatload on the table. So there's a few things we need to get on point. The first is we want to get the shift in place. The shift in place. So if you've not, for example, got your campaigns running, you're running through double R, that's still going to persist. But we're now going to add multiple levels to this, multiple levels. We started testing this around about 120, 140 days ago now, and my team went through a phase of pretty much hating me in terms of what we're going to be sharing with you, because it's taken an awful lot to get to where we are now. But in terms of making sure the strategies convert in a certain way for your clients and candidates, we're going to be adding these one at a time. So what we're going to do in a second is go through the conceptual changes as you as an inner circle member need to adopt and understand. Then we're going to go through the process change to the workflow. Then what we're going to do is we're going to start to lay out what we believe our lead priorities might be. So, for example, a priority one lead would be maybe as it is now. They come into your inbox saying, we're hiring, can we speak on Monday? What dictates a priority 2, a priority 3, priority 4, priority 5? We want to start to get this in place. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the chat box again, make sure I've not missed any questions, I haven't chunked them up. George, is this something, the foundation of what I set up? No, you stick to the game plan, George, so far. You get the game plan running as I've given you already, and then you move into this later, okay? So you're in a good place, you can see what's coming. But no, you stick purely to what you've got right now, okay? Tom's cool. I've got this role in place. It's called a head of relationships. Yeah, your market, Marina, that's a great name. Now pass some details of him if people open or respond to double R. Marina, I'd love a little bit of feedback on how that's gone for you so far, of your head of relationships. So those who open up or respond to double R, how's it going for you, Marina? And by the way, big virtual high five for your powering forward, breaking through that wall. Okay, guys, let's do this then. So let me know when you can see my iPad on your screen. You should be able to see, excuse me, 1 second, guys. Apologies, guys. Okay, yeah, nice. So Marina, a little bit of feedback. She's just started a head of relationships person. Rather than just wait for those replies in the inbox, which is the A's that we're hiring to speak to you. She just started it this week and already meetings set up from adding another layer to this engagement person. Love it, Marina. Well done. Cool. So we're going through a number of shifts here, a number of shifts that are really important. We get at basically at a head level, get out of our own way. So one of the big challenges that we have is we focus on double R. Double R is epic. A number of different campaigns. But I want to get this shift into now. We're going to be using multiple ways to get leads in. And it could be anywhere from we're going to add 1 to 10 different funnels as opposed to just one. And by the way, don't be scared of the word funnels. It's going to be simple. Promise you. Okay? So we're going to be moving away from just dependent on one approach. Apologies, guys. Next is, when we run campaigns, we focus on the 10% of the market who are hiring now, or it could be the 40% of the candidates that are open to moving out, etc. We want to move that away now and move into getting as close to 100% coverage as possible. So we do that now with the Nurture and Maximizer. However, in the Nurture and Maximizer, when someone, for example, one of your clients opens up an email 3 times on a particular challenge, Nurture and Maximizer, it would be great if your consultant had this is priority 3, whatever the driver is going to be, in your lead gen system each morning. So if you consider this as a working a work in process. In the morning, you come in, and there's been 20 P1 or 10 P1 opportunities in the last 24 hours. There's been 20 P2s, so priority ones, priority twos, priority threes. Then inside your lead gen system, you've got the details, you've got the contact number, you've got their notes, for example, if they've completed a questionnaire on the CAS, etc., etc. So you want to cover the whole 100%, not just those in the 10%. Next, as I just alluded to, we focus on the P1s now, those who are, we're hiring right now. But we want to look at your marketplace, take that priority, that 100% marketplace, and break it down into priority ones, maybe down to priority fours, fives, sixes. Now, from testing, what we found is 6 is a number that we originally came to, but now, due to the volume, it's down to P1, 2, 3, so top 3, but we'll come down to that shortly. The variables involved, for example, size of your marketplace, the volume you're putting through, etc. Basic stuff we talk about all the time, and indeed we did it on the rear view mirror in London, and we covered it last week. However, again, we want to look at your entire marketplace now and identify what dictates a priority 1 down to 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6. And again, don't worry, because this isn't going to be stuck in your business forever. It can change. But I want us to start thinking about how do we set this priority. Next, I want to move away from this dependency on it's in my inbox, whether it be email, whether it be LinkedIn, whether you get an inbound phone call, etc. Into, as Marina just detailed here, we've got multiple tens of opportunities to speak to clients every single week that we don't do. And again, it's not, so Marina, you said already you picked up meetings in the first few days this week of running this with only one new funnel. So we want to move away from this inbox, and again, hands up, this is where I've misplaced understanding of mindset, I guess. So the example I used about the person before, they had all these in their inbox. I was blown away when they actually didn't speak to the individual. So know this, at some point when you close, you're going to be speaking to your client. At some point with candidates, they're going to book into your diary and they're going to speak to you. So we guess what? We need to keep speaking to people. Now again, business owner, business owner, business owner, business owner, business owner. That's why this will develop. If you, for example, can 10x the leads come into your business, and you have your system and your VAs 10x the leads into your system, so then they can go through to your client liaison officer or whatever it might be, and they might start off doing 2 hours a day. Then it might become 4 hours a day. Then it might become full-time, which indeed it should do. Or it could be the candidate side, or it could be both. So what we actually want is a conversation. We actually want to speak to people. But the speaking isn't about sales. It's about them raising their hand. It's inbound. They've raised their hand and said, this is happening. But what they've not done is sent you an email or booked into your diary. So the amount of people I've seen over the last few years who've listened to our webinars or indeed listened to podcasts, and then they say, well, listen to your podcast, and I've put a booking thing on my website. I put Acuity on my website, or and you know what? I've had no meetings in there. No way. You're telling me that a client who thinks he's above you hasn't come to your website and booked into your diary because you've got no authority marketing? No way. So we're leaving 90% plus of our opportunity on the table, and it's there really quickly to be picked up. And finally, as I alluded to at the beginning, the entire shift is this. Yes, we want to run campaigns which are, I need to be getting paid now or get candidates now. But these campaigns, really, it's campaigns for the 10%, but it's the 90% that we're not covering with our campaigns. This entire market, all the time, we should be raising, are they a P1, a P2, P3, etc., etc. All the time. And we don't. We get hung up on this, the 10%. So always in sales mode, sales mode, sales mode. You know, I mentioned a gentleman many times now who joined the inner circle, came in, he had no website, nothing. He was in the web design business in the Midlands, came in, got moving, client leads in, candidate leads in, bam, 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 just ran campaigns. And then, anyway, wasn't a very good decision from our side in terms of how we dealt with it. But the gentleman came back saying, the numbers have gone down. Well, I've told you they would. You've not applied anything else. I told you they would. You can't just run campaigns and take money out of the piggy bank. It's not long term. But this short-term mindset of, it's great, I've been working for 3-4 months, great. You're building a business or you're running a cash cow for 4 months. What are you really doing here? And again, you're a business owner, a 3-year plan to sell it, a 3-year plan, maybe a shorter plan to sell it. What are we building here? So this is what we're going to be doing in terms of concept mindset shift. And I hate using the mindset because it sounds woo-woo. However, I want you to know the architecture is changing. It has changed. I want you to know we're leaving money on the table. And I want you to know that every one of your clients in your marketplace, or indeed candidates, at some point they're going to be a P1, P2, etc. So how do we identify that? That's what we're going to do.
Discover how to build your recruitment employment agency using one-to-many automation and inbound strategies before anyone else in your market specialization. Check out recruitmentmarketinginternational.com.